Welcome back to Active Club. My name's Kevin again. If this is our first time meeting, such a pleasure. We're gonna take some time to slow things down. I've got a nice grounding sequence planned for us. So movement is gonna be a little bit slower paced, because if we think about it, life is always on the go. You're always on the grind, in that hustle and bustle. So taking this moment just for yourself to give yourself an opportunity to stretch, move, breathe. Motion is lotion for the body. So when you're ready to begin, find a nice area where you have some space. There's not gonna be too much dynamic movement, but enough room so you're not running into anything. No other props are needed if you want to block. I love props. All they do is enhance the practice for every single body, so completely your choice. As you're ready to begin, just find yourself in a cross-legged seated position, lengthening through the spine, rooted down through your sit bones. And as I mentioned, because so much is going on in our day-to-day, oftentimes our breath is one of the first things that gets thrown out of whack. So rather than having our breath be shallow and in the chest, we're gonna shift our breath down into our diaphragm. So giving our lungs more space to breathe in, more space through the rib cage, and just fueling our body overall. So let your hands just rest on your knees. And again, nice and anchored through the sit bones, lengthen through your spine. Now plug your shoulders down, giving you more of that space through the collarbone. Take a nice exhale breath. As you inhale, breathe in through your belly. And exhale, breathe it out. There it is. Take 3 more rounds. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. And exhale. Take 1 more. And relax. Notice that even just taking those 4 rounds of breath, how much your energy and demeanor has shifted. Feel into that length of your spine, take a nice inhale breath, and stretching through the neck, draw the left ear down towards the left shoulder. And if you notice that the right side shoulder is wanting to pick and lift up, see if you can just actively plug that shoulder down. Taking a nice little swallow, relaxing through the jaw. Good. Bringing your gaze back through center and just shifting to the other side, letting the right ear reach towards the right shoulder. And then feeling that plug of the left shoulder down. Stretching through the sides of the neck, releasing a little bit through the trap. Stay soft through your fingertips. See if you can remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Notice if the breath has already started to shift back into the chest. Can you breathe it down through your belly? And just working towards a place of balance sensation. So don't feel like you have to rush from one side to the other or hold one side longer. Just let it feel balanced. As things do, go ahead and add a few little neck rolls. Draw the chin towards the chest, gaze towards the left shoulder, up towards the ceiling, towards the right, down through your chest. Reverse the direction. Bring the gaze up through center. And now squeeze the shoulder ups towards your ears. And then exhale, take the shoulders back and down. Bring the shoulders up towards your ears. And then bring the shoulders back and down. 1 more time. Good. Inhale, hands reach out around and up. Add a side bend to that left side. Letting the left fingertips come down, peel the right fingertips over, reach your fingertips. Now you can take as much of a bend in that left arm as much as you need to help lean into your body a bit further. Notice if your right hip is wanting to pick up, can you anchor that right hip down, really isolating this side stretch through the right side obliques, through your right rib cage. Now, can you imagine as if you have one lung and you're just breathing into that right side lung? Good work, exhale. Breathe it back through center, both fingertips lift. And lean to the other side. And notice the gaze here. If it feels better to keep your gaze up towards your elbow, nice and neutral, or down towards the ground, you're welcome to do either or. Keeping your left hip nice and anchored, reach those fingertips. And then finding breath to movement. Take an inhale, fingertips lift, and exhale to the other side. Back through center, inhale, and to the other side. As you take your next inhale breath, both fingertips lift, and then coming to a seated spinal twist. Your right hand reaches towards your left knee, left hand draws behind. So notice here that your hips are staying forward like headlights. We're letting this twist come from the midsection, working through our thoracic spine, that upper portion of our back, that thoracic rotation. Your fingertips are just nice and planted back behind you. You can be risen onto those fingertips or flat palmed or even use your block here. Whatever you can do to help maintain the length and lift through your spine. Still stay nice and soft through the shoulders. Now focus on your left shoulder blade. Let your left shoulder blade hug back in towards the middle of your spine. This is going to give you that deeper chest expansion, more openness through the front side of your body. And then if it feels good for your neck, just add a little tilt of your gaze towards your left shoulder. Now maintain the twist through the body. We're just going to shift through the direction of our gaze. With your inhale, let your gaze come forward. And then exhale, gaze draws back. Inhale, gaze comes forward. And exhale, gaze draws back. Gaze comes forward. Smiles always make everything easier. And exhale. As you take this next inhale, draw your gaze forward. And then exhale, shift to the other side. Let your right hand sweep behind, left hand to your knee. Same idea here. Lengthen through your spine. Stay nice and connected through your sit bones. Gaze is past your right shoulder. Hug your right shoulder blade towards the middle of your spine. Notice that no active pressure needs to happen down through your left hand onto that knee, but letting that shoulder draw back through the backside towards the middle is going to give you all of that leverage and mobility that you need. And again, just maintaining the twist, maintaining the length through your spine, still finding your breath down through the midsection, down through your diaphragm. And then changing the gaze. With your next inhale, gaze forward. And exhale. Inhale, gaze forward. And exhale. Last time, gaze forward. And exhale. As you take this next inhale, bring your gaze forward. And then exhale, soften the hands through center. You can add a little shimmy through the shoulders, a little roll through the shoulders. And let's take seated cat-cows. I'm gonna turn to the side just so you see the movement through your spine. As you plant this down through your sit bones, hands are nice and rooted on your knees. Plug the shoulders down, then add a little pull of the hands in, draw the elbows to a bend, lift from the base of the rib cage. Don't over crease the neck here, keep the neck nice and long. And then with an exhale, tuck the tailbone under, hollow out your core, lengthen your arms, chin drawing in towards your chest. Inhale, feel that lift. And exhale, round it out. Inhale, feel that lift. And exhale, round it out. As you take this next inhale, feel that length of your spine, and then rock your body forward, plant the hands down, coming into that tabletop position. Now just sinking this down into a child's pose, knees open wide, tops of the feet down, big toes draw together, and now sink your sit bones down towards your heels. The hands pressing down through the ground, so pushing the edge of the palms away from you, letting it get nice and heavy. This is gonna release your lumbar spine, that lower portion of your back a little bit further. Now imagine just shifting the weight of your body, distributing the weight into each glute. Feeling that hip flexor crease a little bit deeper. When you're ready, lengthen the arms, melt your chest down towards the ground. Now you can always let your forehead soften down towards the ground here. You can add a little movement side to side through your gaze. You could even rock the torso a little bit here. Feeling your breath down through the tailbone into the backside of your body, backside of your rib cage. And as you feel your breath, notice that the breath is still down in through the belly as well. So the belly is going to graze the inner thighs. Your belly button is going to reach towards the ground as you breathe it in. Taking your next inhale, slowly begin to lift and rise back into that tabletop. Draw the knees back underneath your hips, hands stacked where the shoulders are. Now shifting this to a puppy pose. So downward dog, normally the hips are lifted. Puppy pose, same thing here. Hips are gonna stay lifted. You're gonna walk the knees back, hips stay lifted, hands reach forward, and now melt your chest. Getting that deeper expansion through your chest, through your shoulders, through the mid-back. And then keeping your tailbone reaching back and behind you. So creating more of the space through your glutes, through your sit bones. With your next inhale, just start to rock your body forward, lift through your chest, taking it back to that tabletop position. And then moving in through our flowing sequence. Starting in that tabletop, keep the toes tucked underneath the feet, and then slowly start to extend that right leg back behind you. Now, keep the weight evenly distributed through your body. Our tendency is gonna wanna lean into that one side to maintain balance, but bring more of that weight into your right hand, keep it down through the left knee. If your right glute is wanting to pick up higher than your left, just gently begin to lower it down, hug the navel back and towards your spine. Point your toes here. With your next exhale, plant your right foot in between your hands, coming into a runner's lunge, but in that kneeling stance. Remember, we're keeping everything nice and low to the ground today. Add a few little rocks of the hips, the torso. You're the only person that truly knows what you've experienced today, this week, this month, this year. So just give yourself enough time to really feel into your stance, into your body. As things start to feel a little bit more movable through that lower half, hold the stand here. Let the right knee stay stacked over the right ankle, keeping that left knee down. If it feels a little tender, you can always fold your mat. You can always bring a little towel, little cushion, whatever you may have. And then squeeze the left glute. Hands begin to lift, kneeling crescent lunge. And keep in mind, your body's gonna be different than my body, so you may wanna crawl the knee in, you may wanna bring the top of the foot down. I personally find that keeping the toes tucked underneath generates a little bit more support for the underside of the knee. Now working through our midsection again, we're gonna add a revolved twist. Exhale, left fingertips reach forward, right fingertips drop back. If your left glute has disengaged, re-engage the left glute. This is gonna help maintain that structure through your hips. Let the shoulders get nice and soft, fingertips actively reaching. Then take an inhale breath, bring it back to that kneeling crescent lunge. And we're just gonna add a little counter twist here. Let your right hand reach forward, left fingertips drop back, and then let your right hand sweep towards your left hip. Actively think of pushing the ground down with your right heel, staying nice and lifted through the chest. With an inhale, bring it back to that kneeling crescent. With an exhale, prayer hands, bringing it down to your heart center. Let the left elbow now bind on the outside of your right knee. So actively pushing down through your hands, it's gonna help draw that chest nice and lifted. So it's like that seated spinal twist that we took at the beginning of class, but now we just have a different shape or a different way of getting into it. Same intention. Little bit more active here. We're gonna keep the bind where it's at. Start to push down through your left toes, lift through your back left leg, draw the chest through center, plant the hands, step it back, come down to tabletop. Add a nice little child's pose here, sinking the hips down, letting your body round. And when you're ready, bringing yourself back up through center, finding those hands back stacked underneath the shoulders, a little rock of the hips. You might feel a little imbalanced here for the moment. That's why we have both sides that we move through. Then when you're ready, hands stay nice and planted, extend that left leg back behind you. A few little check-ins. How's everything feeling through your midsection? Adding that little push of your hands, pushing the ground away from you, and then leveling through your hips. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, hug the left knee in towards your chest. Plant the hands down. Now again, this is where you can use blocks if you have blocks available to you. You can just keep the hands nice and heavy, add the little rock back and forth. Create stillness. Then use your next inhale breath. Press down through your left heel, right glute engages, hands lift. Keeping your breath nice and consistent. Your breath is going to be your biggest contributor to your balance. When you're ready, revolve, twist. Right fingertips forward, left fingertips draw behind. There it is. Nice proud chest, reaching those fingertips, twisting from your midsection, right glute is engaged. Then with your next inhale, lifting it back through center, and then exhale, opening towards that counter twist side. Let the left hand come to your right hip. Bringing it back through center. And exhale, coming to that binded twist. Hands to that heart center, right elbow, left knee. And then again, actively pushing into your hands. Notice that the arms are gonna come into that more linear path. This is gonna help retract your scapula, so squeezing those shoulder blades closer together, twisting from the midsection, maintaining that engagement through your glute. Good work. A little bit more activeness. You're gonna press this down through your toes, lift the back leg, draw the chest through center, plant the hand, step it back, move through a chaturanga here. Drawing this down to the knees once more, and then bringing yourself to a kneeling stance. So bonus points for you, if you tuck the toes under, let the hips sink down towards those heels. Very rarely do we stretch through the bottoms of our feet, but yet we're on them all day. So this is a really great opportunity to just bring a little more awareness to the sensations that we feel. Breathe it in, breathe it out. 2 more just like that. Exhale. Believe me, you're not alone. This is gonna feel uncomfortable. Immediately your thoughts are gonna be like, get the hell out of this. But we're gonna let our breath be louder than our thoughts. There you go. 1 more. And exhale. Bringing yourself back to that tabletop, then coming to a cross-legged seated position. Now lastly, taking a few of these restorative movements, a little bit more of that active mobility, we're gonna work through what we call 90-90. So starting things off, your right leg is going to stay in front. You're gonna lean into that right glute, draw the left knee out towards the left side. Let the left knee be in line with the left ankle, left knee in line with the left hip, then draw the right knee in line with your right hip, and then right ankle in line with the right knee. You can use your block here, pressing into your block to help elevate the chest. They call it 90-90 because the legs are in that 90-degree angle. You're like, Kev, I'm not a mathematician. Well, it's always good to know what a right angle is, right? Now, can you engage the left glute and draw the left hip forward? And then sink the left hip back. So we're letting the top of our femur move through that acetabulum where it connects down to the lower half. So good for helping our body release synovial fluid, which lubricates the joint. Keep the hips nice and happy. And then shifting this to the other side. You're just gonna sweep this forward. Left leg comes to that 90-degree bend. Shift your block if you're using it. Same thing, remember those 90-90 angles. Place it down through the hand, lift through the chest, shoulders stay soft. Rock the right hip forward and draw it back. One more time. Good, you could always get adventurous with this. Add full movement, switching from side to side. Just depending on how it feels. Remember, it's your practice, you decide what you want from it. And then bring yourself back to a cross-legged seated position. Now we only did that sequence once, but you can take it through as many times as you need, adapt it, expand it, and shift anything in your body that feels best. Use your props, take drinks of water, and enjoy the rest of your day.